This is the Eahora M1P Pro electric motorcycle, and it's the first street-legal electric bike that actually feels like a real motorcycle instead of a souped-up scooter. I've put over 150 miles on mine in the last 2 weeks, and I'm ready to tell you why this thing surprised me. Let me start with the verdict. If you want a daily rider that's fast, comfortable, and still legal to drive on city streets, this is the one to grab. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The first thing that jumps out is the power. The 4,000-watt motor hits hard the second you twist the throttle, and the dual 60V42Ah batteries give you real range, around 55 miles of mixed riding. I used it for my commute last week, 2 12-mile round trips with some errands thrown in, and the battery stayed above 40% when I got home. That's the kind of real-world range you can plan around instead of constantly worrying about charging. Ride quality is where this bike really shines. The 735mm hydraulic fork and 270mm dual-ring hydraulic shocks soak up potholes and rough pavement like nothing else in this price range. I took it down a washboard county road last weekend just to test it, and I barely felt a thing while my buddy on a regular scooter was bouncing around. The seat is also wide and well padded, so after an hour in the saddle your back isn't screaming. Safety is built in without feeling like an afterthought. Dual hydraulic brakes give you strong, progressive stopping power, and the headlight setup, high and low beam plus turn signals, actually illuminates the road instead of just lighting up the sidewalk. I rode it at dusk through a poorly lit industrial area and felt safer than I do on my own car some nights. Street legality matters, and the M1P Pro checks all the boxes. It's DOT certified, so you can register it, get plates, and ride it just like any other motorcycle. I live in a state with strict rules, and after a quick inspection the DMV handed over plates with no extra hoops. That alone saved me from having to buy a separate moped or scooter just to commute. The controls are straightforward. The left handlebar has a simple twist throttle, a brake lever, and a single button cluster for headlight modes and turn signals. There's no confusing touchscreen or menu diving, everything you need is right there when you're moving. I've ridden bikes with way more complicated setups, and this one felt like riding a bicycle compared to the rest. Charging is as easy as plugging in your phone. The charger hooks right into the side of the bike, and the batteries slide out with one latch. I keep the spare set on a wall charger at home, so I can swap them in under a minute and be back on the road while the other pair tops off. It's the kind of convenience that turns a 30-minute coffee break into a full battery swap instead of a long wait. Now, no bike is perfect. The seat is comfortable for short rides, but after 2 hours my tailbone starts to protest. A gel seat cover fixed that for me, and it's a cheap upgrade. Also, at 220 pounds the bike is heavier than a typical scooter, so lifting it onto a center stand takes a little effort. If you're not used to handling a motorcycle, it might feel a bit cumbersome at first. Overall, the Eahora M1P Pro is the closest thing to a real motorcycle you can buy without a motorcycle license. It's fast enough to keep up with traffic, comfortable enough for daily commutes, and legal enough to park anywhere you'd park a car. If you're on the fence, give it a try. You might be surprised how much it changes the way you think about electric two-wheelers. You'll find the link below if you want to grab one for yourself. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Eahora M1P Pro 2025 upgraded 4,000 W 50 miles per hour electric motorcycle for adults, 60V42Ah large battery 55 miles long-range motorcycle dual hydraulic brake street legal electric scooter sounds impressive on paper. But whether strengths like upgrades dual battery design and M1P Pro electric motorcycle for adults actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off.